Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I have a very special guest with me this morning. If you don't know Natalie, I'm really excited to get to introduce her to all of you. She has been a Launch Your Box member for a while. She also Scale Your Box member and is part of my mastermind. And what I love about Natalie is I've watched her grow leaps and bounds this year. So I'm going to share that with all of you. But today is a very important day because for the first time, we are opening our Scale Your Box membership today. And I'm going to break it down for you. We're going to talk about it today, what it is. We've been beta testing it for the last 5 months with a very small group of people. And it's fabulous. It's fabulous. I'm going to talk to you about the difference between Launch Your Box and Scale Your Box today. A lot of you have had questions about it. What is Scale Your Box? How do I get in? And we kind of just leave it alone because nobody could get in for a little while because we were testing it. We were making sure that we had it set up the way that I felt good about it and the way our members felt good about it. So today it is open for new members. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Natalie, why don't you introduce yourself this morning? If you don't know Natalie, like, first of all, you're going to love Natalie. Natalie's like your secret best friend that you didn't know you needed, but you needed. She's so fun. She's so sweet. She's got an incredible business. And Natalie, why don't you just introduce yourself? Tell them a little bit about what you do and about your subscription box.
Sure. Okay, I'm Natalie. My business is called the Ginger Quilter Box or the Ginger Quilter, and then my box is the subscription box. And every month I send out quilt kits for quilters. So they'll receive a kit to make a quilt, usually like a smaller size quilt. And then they'll get a few extra goodies like a treat and a sewing accessory and a gift like a chapstick or something small. And what else was I supposed to introduce? Was that it?
No, that's a good start right there. That's
Okay.
a good start. I think what we need to tell them, let's take them back on a journey over the past year. Okay. Because I want them to see what's possible. When you start your subscription box, one of the hardest things that you are going to do is to actually get it launched, like to get all the steps together, to get everything together and actually lob it out into the world. And if you've launched your subscription box, I want you to put launched in the chat this morning because we have to give ourselves a pat on the back. Getting ourselves launched is the hardest thing. But then the next step really is to start to scale it. So let's take them back to the beginning of 2023. We had the Ginger Quilter Box. How long have you had it at that point?
I had it 2.5 years. So I started in the middle of 2020, not knowing the pandemic was a thing. I guess I started the whole process before all that, but and then my first box shipped in June of 2020. And then and so by the beginning of 2023, I'd been doing this 2.5 years. I was a little over 100 subscribers at that point, but it really felt like pulling teeth to get anybody in.
Yeah,
It was just
like you were working hard for those 100 subscribers,
yes,
right? Like every day you
exactly.
were working hard for those 100 subscribers.
Yes.
And so let's talk a little bit about the journey that's happened this year for you. So we start the year about 100 subscribers. I want you to tell them some things that you really implemented this year that maybe was first time things that you had implemented, things that you learned this year that helped you scale your box. Also, let's tell them where you're at right now. So that they understand that.
Yeah. So right now I'm right around 220 subscribers. At the end of my last launch, I was at 230. So I had added 100 people this year, which is a huge difference in monthly recurring revenue. And so with churn, we're right at around 220.
Okay, so you more than doubled your subscription this year, and it was really some key factors for you. Let's talk about what you did differently this year.
Yeah, email's been a huge thing for me. I was emailing before, but like once a month, maybe, or like when I felt like it, which isn't very often. So email on a more regular basis has been a big deal, but But also with my launches, making sure that email's been locked and loaded, pre-written. It has nothing to do with how I feel that day. Those emails are in line, ready to go, and kind of letting go of the, well, am I bothering them
Yes.
mentality.
Yes.
That has made a huge difference in my launches and in my sales, and just kind of getting over myself, I guess, with email has
Yeah.
helped so much.
And that's actually something that we talked about during our Scale Your Box call last week. And that was from Donna, that's in Scale Your Box. And I'd asked her specifically about, selling. And she's like, well, I mean, if they want to buy it, they know it's available. And I'm like, we have to sell. And it's the same thing with email. Like, you are in the point of like, I don't want to send another email because they already know I have a box and they already know but we have to sell. And that was one thing that you really leaned into this year. I think the other thing that's really important was knowing your numbers, right? That is a big
Yes.
portion of Scale Your Box. We dive into knowing our numbers. We can't make progress without knowing where our compass is going. And so that was something. Talk to a little bit about what you did this year. Like, what numbers are you like on top of, like, all the time that you didn't know before?
Every Monday, I sit down and I track my numbers from the last week. And so that includes my subscriber counts, my churn numbers, my um, the revenue from my shop, and and so particularly one thing that I have a pulse on is my churn,
Yeah.
and um, and making sure that that doesn't get too low, or I try and stay where Sarah says, above 95% retention is amazing. Right now I'm around like 91. And so just knowing that and making sure that that's kind of a health indicator for my subscription box is good to know. Like, if there have been months where it's dipped below that 90, and that's like, okay, something's up, we got to make sure everything's okay over here. So that's a good like health indicator. And other numbers I've tracked, well, actually, one thing that's been really cool to track has been like the monthly recurring revenue and the lifetime value of each customer, and how that churn um, is in the like the churn number helps create the value of your lifetime value of a customer. So if you have low churn and high retention, that lifetime value is huge for your
Yeah.
customer. And it's kind of fun to see that change every month and be like, okay, my churn was down, so that means my lifetime value of my customer is so much higher. And it's just fun to see that. But it's not all just because it's fun. It makes a difference and gives me things to strive for.
And it helps motivate you. And knowing
Yeah,
that, knowing your numbers like that also helps you do something this year that you hadn't done. And that was running ads, correct?
right.
Yeah, because if you know that lifetime value number and you can see that number and then you can relate that to your acquisition cost, that's going to help you say, I can spend more, I can have a higher acquisition cost because I know that I'm going to get X from that customer on average. So if my acquisition cost is $20, $30, or even $50, you're going to make hundreds of dollars on that lifetime value. And so spending that money to acquire a new subscriber doesn't feel so scary anymore. And it helps you take the feelings out of what we're doing in our business and just make decisions based on the facts and the numbers that you're dealing with every single day.
Exactly.
So let's tell them a little bit about Scale Your Box, because they're like, okay, what's the difference? What's the difference between Launch Your Box and Scale Your Box, and who would be a good fit for Scale Your Box? So I'm going to give you an example. I saw this comment here that I have to just tell you all about really quickly. Hang on, I lost it. Where did it go? Okay. Let me tell you about Deborah. I was eating late lunch yesterday. And I had a friend text me that said, hey, are you at Back Porch today? I'm like, yeah, where you at? Come say hi. I didn't see her. She goes, oh, a friend of mine is there and she's totally fangirling you right now. And I said, well, tell her to come over and say hi. So Deborah was there. It was great to meet you, Deborah. You can be a restaurant stalker to me at any time, anywhere. So it's so fun to see you guys, especially kind of out in the wild like that. So good to see you here this morning, Deborah. Okay, let's talk about Scale Your Box. So I was thinking about this morning. The best way that I can explain it is like this. So this month in Launch Your Box, we talked about fourth quarter planning, right? And I gave you 7 different promotions, and we walked through each of the promotions, and I give you examples of what each of those promotions are. So that was our Launch Your Box training this month. Now I take our Launch Your Box training every single month, and I give you the next level training in Scale Your Box. So what we did in Launch Your Box was learn about the different types of promotion, tell you what you can do and how you can do it, okay? In Scale Your Box, I was deep diving into those promotions. And so basically what I did in Scale Your Box last week was I took one promotion, the holiday gift box, and I walked through my entire sales funnel with them and what I do for that promotion. So I went in and I showed them every asset that we create, Facebook header, ad images, email copy, and I walked them through from start to finish that promotion, and I gave them a checklist so they could just check right through all the assets that they needed to create, kind of like what Natalie was saying about I needed to have my emails written before my launch. They're going to have their emails written before their promotions start because they know exactly what they need. I walk them through my funnel for that. So I walk through what I do for the wait list. I walk them through what I do during the launch for the holiday box. I walk them through how many emails that I send and when I send them. And we walk through what that looked like. I showed them all my ad graphics. I showed them my Facebook header. I showed them everything that we had built for that one particular promotion so that they could take that and then apply it to all 7 of those promotions. So the difference between Launch Your Box and Scale Your Box is that you get the deeper, the advanced version of what we are doing in Launch Your Box. Launch Your Box is for our beginners that are getting started, getting launched, and doing things. Scale Your Box is for our members that have launched their subscription box. They have proof of concept, they have subscribers, and now we just have to dial in and to start to scale. So they're getting the advanced training for all of that. And so that's really the difference. And the other difference is it's a smaller group of people. It is a fraction of the size of Launch Your Box. So we do our calls on Zoom instead of a Facebook Live. So I get to see everyone. We have face-to-face interaction. We do Zooms with Sarah where they're really just Q&A. And so we jump in and we talk about a particular topic, and then I get to answer their questions face to face. Then the conversation in Scale Your Box is different than Launch Your Box because everybody's at a different stage in their business. With Launch Your Box, everyone's at different stages, and so there's a lot of different conversations. But people are talking about ads, they're talking about promotions, they're talking about launches, they're talking about things that people that have already launched their subscription box are doing to get scaled. And the goal for everyone in Scale Your Box is, how do I get more subscribers? How do I scale my subscription box? And what are the tactics? And it's not just the weekly content. Natalie, can you tell them a little bit about the training library we have for Scale Your Box?
Yeah, it's not too dissimilar to Launch Your Box as far as like the mechanics of it. So it's not scary at all. You log in and then you have each little chapter of or section. So there's like know your numbers, your multi-channel. I was just in there this morning. So you got like multi-channel marketing plans. And so then each of those you'll just dive in, and they're really step-by-step lessons about how to set up certain things, like how to segment your email list, or how to find the numbers that you need to know your numbers, how to track all these things. And so it's not in like, I hope nobody feels intimidated by it, because it's not. If you have a launched subscription box, this is not like out of your realm at all. You can figure this out. So while the trainings are super, super valuable, they're not over your head.
Yes. And there's some good questions coming in. I want to show you, Connie, let me answer your question. So with your Scale Your Box membership, you get Launch Your Box as well, because I believe they're hand in hand. Like, I don't want to deep dive into that fourth quarter promotion with you if you haven't learned the 7 promotions that I'm suggesting that you do for the fourth quarter. So you're going to get the Launch Your Box training. You get to be in both groups for the price of Scale Your Box, because I believe you need both things. It's like the starter and the advanced version. And what Natalie's talking about is that, yes, you get both. You get both for the price of Scale Your Box. You get to be in both groups. You get both training, because I need you to have the basics. And there are a lot of times in Scale Your Box, we go back to the basics. We go back. Okay, let's go back to the basics. Let's talk about it. I'll reference something in Scale Your Box that we're doing in Launch Your Box, and I'll say, go watch this training we're doing on Wednesday in Launch Your Box. And then we're going to come back here next week and we're going to deep dive into the advanced level of it. So you do get both. And I grabbed the workbook. Natalie, so I could show them a little bit about what you're talking about. So we've built Scale Your Box exactly like Launch Your Box, where you get a core library of content that you get to watch Netflix style, just like Launch Your Box. When you come in Launch Your Box, you get to watch Netflix style. You can deep dive into whatever you want. You're going to get the same thing in Scale Your Box, but it is the advanced version. So this is the workbook that we have that goes along with it. You can print them out through each module, or you can purchase this workbook if you want to. But this is the content that you're going to get immediately. So if you're like, you know what, I don't know my numbers, Sarah, I don't even know where to find that, you're going to dive into the Know Your Numbers chapter. You're going to set up Google Analytics. You're going to look, and we're going to show you where to find those numbers, how to track the numbers, what you need to be tracking each month. Then what Natalie is saying is you go into the multi-channel marketing plan. That's the next module. And each module has a series of videos that go with that particular module. And so you're going to dive into the multi-channel marketing plan. That's the next one. Where are you marketing? How are you marketing? What can you layer in to get in front of more people? It's the email, it's the social media, it's the platforms. And so you just start working through the next level of launching and scaling your box. And that's what we built. And then we're going to get into logistics and fulfillment, because when you start to grow, like Natalie will tell you, when you go from 100 to 220, logistics are different. Fulfillment is different. You have to streamline things. And so we deep dive into that. How can it be different as I'm scaling? And if I want to get from 100 to 1,000 subscribers, what do I need to transition to in that point? In Scale Your Box, we have people that have 50 subscribers. I saw I saw Allison here in the chat. Hang on. Allison has 40 subscribers. So we have people that have 40 subscribers to people that have over 1,000 subscribers in Scale Your Box. So there's a wide range, but what we teach is what you need to know to get there, to get from 50 to get to 1,000. If you're at 100, if you're at like Natalie, if you're at 200, I saw Jocelyn in the chat at 300. What do we need to do differently now that we've launched to scale? And there are a lot of things that we need to know about our businesses and that we need to dig into so that we can get past the point. What you have done to get you here, a lot of times will not get you there. Right, Natalie?
Yes.
You're like the poster child for this. What you were doing for 2.5 years got you to 100.
Yep.
But what you've been doing for the last 8 months has more than doubled your subscription.
Yep.
So we just have to get ourselves to this stage. That's the launching stage, proof of concept. We have customers, we have subscribers. And then how do we then take that concept that we've put together and we know works, and how do we tweak it? And it's not this big redo your whole business. It's small little steps along the way. And I don't want you to get into Scale Your Box today and start consuming all of this and be overwhelmed. I want you to do one module, and I want you to really learn what's in that module. And then I want you to start to implement it. And as you implement it, it's going to get easier for you. Like, oh, I know my numbers. Are they good? I'm going to tell you if they're good or not. And then once you know your numbers, okay, how do I get more traffic? Because now that you know your numbers, you know that it's all a numbers game. Building our subscription box business is all a numbers game. How do I get more traffic? How do I get more conversions? How do I increase my retention rate? That's what we're talking about. And so each one of those is broken down and it's very actionable on how you can get there. I mean, another great example is Lexi. You've heard me talk about Lexi. I feel like I could talk about Lexi every single day because she's just like y'all. Natalie's just like y'all. I mean, if you listen to podcast, I believe it's episode 134. I think I've got that memorized now because I've talked about Lexi so much. But Lexi struggled with 20, 30, 40 subscribers for a long, long time. She came into Scale Your Box, worked her tail off, even when her numbers weren't moving. And finally, the switch hit. And she went from 30 subscribers to 200 subscribers almost overnight. And Natalie will tell you 200 monthly subscribers is a game changer for your business, right?
Oh yeah.
Talk to me about what that makes possible for you. Like, what does that change for you?
Well, it helps with just knowing that the monthly recurring revenue is going to cover everything I need in my business, which is great. And I guess it's not so much a worry of, is there going to be the money in the bank next month? And it's just very validating also that there's 200 people that want my product. And that's huge. To know that what I'm doing matters to that many people is awesome.
You don't give yourself enough credit, but you've hired people because now you can afford.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. I totally hired people.
You've hired people, and that's something that you didn't have ever. And how does that feel to have someone helping you and supporting your business and you know you can pay them every single month? Like, how does that feel as a business owner to be able to hire your first employee?
It is so freeing.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of time that I feel like I have back to focus on things like Scale Your Box, all the things in Scale Your Box, that is huge, because it's not a matter of me cutting fabric, and it's not like I never do that, but cutting fabric, putting things in bags, putting labels on things, that takes so much time, and time that I can't then do things like track my numbers or work on my social media plan or things like that. So having the freedom to focus on things that are actually going to grow my business, that is a huge game changer of having an employee to help.
Yeah. I think it's also helped you afford paid ads.
That too.
You're doing them yourself, but it's something that, okay, I have a little extra money and I'm not going to be desolate if I spend this money and I don't get any return. I'm going to start to test and try this, and you're getting results from that too. So I think when you get more subscribers, it gives you a little more freedom in your business to start up leveling, and that makes a big difference. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to say that Scale Your Box training is probably the best piece of content I have ever created. It is so detailed. I poured my heart and soul into creating this extremely concise and detailed training for Scale Your Box. And we just did some updates on some of the training last month, because some of it was already outdated. And so we've already updated a couple of the lessons and things like that. But it's good. It's really good. I don't know what else to say except, okay, let's talk about, because we've had some questions coming from customer service already this morning. So I want to talk about this a little bit. Is Scale Your Box right for me? And I'm going to tell you it's not right for everybody. And I don't want anybody and everybody to go sign up for it. I literally want the right people in there doing the same work at the same time. That's how I can serve you. That's how your dollars are most effective with me, when everybody in that group is working on the same thing and is ready to work on the same thing. If you're not ready to work on the same thing, it's okay. It'll come later. But that means you've tackled your tech. Okay, you've got your website up and running, you have an online presence, you have an email CRM set up and going, because I'm going to tell you all the things that you're going to be needing to do with that email CRM, like Natalie's already, touched upon. You're going to need that set up. You can't go into this without having your tech set up, not having an email CRM, not having an online presence with a website. You're not ready for it, okay? If you've successfully launched your subscription box. Now, in Scale Your Box, we have a lot of membership site owners that are not subscription boxes, but they have the subscription piece. So membership plus subscription. We have a lot of memberships. We talk a little bit about memberships. Natalie is working on her membership right now too. So we're going to talk through membership stuff as well as subscription box stuff. But I need you to have launched your subscription box. You can't be like, okay, Sarah, I'm set to launch next month. I'm going to go ahead and join. I need you to be already there to be in Scale Your Box, because we're talking about how to put the gas on the fire that you've already built. Okay. If you have subscribers, so if you've launched and it was a flop, we're going to need to go back through Launch Your Box stuff and redo. If you have subscribers, and it doesn't matter if you've hit a plateau, like maybe you launched and you got 50 subscribers, and maybe now you're sitting at 30 and you're like, I don't know what's going on. I've kind of plateaued, but you've got 30 solid subscribers. We can work with that. We can work with that if you've got your tech set up, if you're ready to take action, if you're ready to dive in and get work. This is not a Sarah's going to build your business for you. This is Sarah's going to work with you so that you can build your business. Okay. And so I just need you to be at a place that you're can put some time into it, right? You're going to need time to do this, Natalie. You can't just watch a video and think your life is going to change overnight. You're going to have to watch the video. You're going to have to implement it, and you're going to have to keep testing and trying it. And we're open for people in Launch Your Box. Like, I need you to have the core fundamental things that I teach every month down, because I'm going to reference them. I'm going to talk about them. I am building on what you've learned in Launch Your Box. And if you're not ready yet, it's okay. When you get there, Scale Your Box is going to be there. We're launching right now for the first time ever. And so if you're at that point right now, come join me. For $97 a month, you're going to get both memberships. You're going to get Launch Your Box and Scale Your Box. You're going to get Zoom calls with me. You're going to get the advanced training. You're going to get so much new content that you're going to get to dig right in. And if you're not ready, if you're in the middle of fourth quarter and you're not ready, it's okay. Take what you need right now, and we'll dig into more of it in the beginning of the year. You're going to get calls with me. You're going to get, it's different conversations. You're going to see the feed in there is not noisy, because it's very specific interactions. It's very specific questions, and people are giving advice. And so that's what we're going to do. There are 7 modules that you get right away. And just like Launch Your Box, you're going to get more training, just like I did with the fourth quarter promotions this month. You're going to get more training as we go. We'll go through Know Your Numbers. We developed our multi-channel marketing plan. We're going to talk about optimizing your inventory. Your inventory is very important as you grow and scale. We're going to talk about streamlining fulfillment. How do you handle that? How do you handle your space? How do you handle, the inventory that's coming in for fulfillment? And also, how do we optimize things so that we don't make mistakes? And one of the people that has benefited from that greatly this year has been Christy. And she's got 800, 900, 1,000 subscribers and orders every day. Like, she has a really great business, but her fulfillment was not the best that it could be. And so she's optimizing that right now. And it's really a game changer. Like, how many times have you had to reship something because it got messed up going out the door? And that's yes. And that's going to save you so much money at the end of the day. Hiring, we've talked a little bit about hiring with Natalie. I'm going to dig into that. I'm going to talk about VAs. I'm going to talk about payroll versus contractors, developing SOPs, and really hiring and developing a team and it starts with one person. So you don't have to be intimidated by that. I dig into like our module 6, I expand your marketing. I'm going to give you a little bit of marketing up front. And then as you dig in and grow, we're going to expand that. I'm going to tell you how you can drive traffic with blogs, podcasts, SLOs. We're going to talk about short videos, all the things that you're going to need to know to drive traffic. And retention is so important at this stage. When you've got 1,000 subscribers, losing 5% a month is a lot of subscribers. So we have to really dig into retention and find out those numbers. And the one thing that I've been really, really good about and that I talk about a lot is how do you maximize the value of your existing subscribers, right, Natalie? Like,
yeah,
we don't have to have giant audiences. Natalie, what's your audience size?
On Facebook, I'm right around 7,500, and on Instagram, I'm like 3,000.
Okay, 7,500 followers. She's got over 200 subscribers. Like, we don't have to have hundreds of thousands of followers.
I will say, though, that my Facebook following was about 1,000 at the beginning of this year.
Wow.
So through Scale Your Box and running things like page-like ads, it's exploded. So you're right. You don't have to have a huge audience, but Sarah can help you grow your audience.
Yeah, we still need to get in front of new people every month. And that's one of our goals in Scale Your Box is how do I get in front of new people every month? How do I find new potential subscribers? You don't have to have like this ridiculous amount of followers. It does help in some instances, like Stacy Collins, who has 300,000 followers and can just launch a Pillow subscription and make like 1,000 subscribers overnight. Like that does help. But I'm not saying that you have to have that. And you guys know that about me. I have less than 30,000 followers. And I have a multi-million-dollar subscription box business from less than 30,000 followers. So Natalie, starting with I didn't even know that, Natalie, starting with 1,000 followers on Facebook this year and has now gotten 7,500. Like that's incredible. And that's another reason your subscription has grown. And so
absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna dig into all of that. And it's a process. It's not an overnight thing. It's let's take it one step at a time. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to show up for each other when things get hard, because things are going to be hard. Lexi knows that. And she, you know what? Lexi knows that. And she showed up every week during Scale Your Box. And it was hard. And there were tears. And we showed up for Lexi and we encouraged her, and look at her now. You need that. Y'all, we need that as women. We need that. And I know there's not all women on this feed this morning, but guys need that too. But we need that. We need to feel supported. And so many of us do have support at home, and so many of us don't have support at home. And even if you have the best support at home, if they're not an entrepreneur, they don't get it. Like they'll try, and we love them for trying, but they don't get it. And I just want you to come. I just want you to come join us. I think it's going to be great for your growth. I think it's going to be great for your personal growth as well as your business growth. And there are so many things that we have to look forward to in 2024. It's time to start that now. Like jump in. Let's make the most out of our fourth quarter. And let's really set our businesses up to be successful in the new year. So we're open. Natalie, any words of encouragement for someone that's maybe watching and like, I'm not sure if I should join. I don't know. Like, what would you tell them?
Say you should, because Sarah hit it on the head when she said that it's about, you're going to grow as a business owner, but you're also going to grow personally. I feel like I am so much more confident in my business, and that feels incredible. Knowing that, I can't do everything all the time. I'm not doing everything correctly, but I know the things that I'm striving for. And so Sarah laying that out really well in Scale Your Box gives me targets to shoot for. And that gives me the confidence to keep going, and knowing that maybe something didn't go perfectly sometimes, but knowing that it's okay. I know the steps to dig myself out of this or to do better next time. And so you can absolutely do this, and take it a bite at a time. do one module at a time and really dig into that, and you're going to do a great job and you're going to see that growth. And Scale Your Box has totally impacted my business, but a lot of it has been my own confidence in my business and my role as an entrepreneur, and really walking into that role and stepping into that role and feeling good about it. That's a huge shift for me.
Yeah, it's so important. And I just want to bring up this relationship, this relationship right here, because I think that's another important part about being in a group of like-minded people and being in the same season of your business with other people. I know Natalie told me this. Amy, you don't know this, but Natalie told me this the other day when we were talking. Like, Amy is this huge, huge person in the sewing world, right? And huge. And the way that this friendship has formed, and the way that you guys support each other, like, God, it's everything. Amy says, I love to hear the two of them talk about fabric. It's everything, right? Like, having connections with people that are in the same space or in the same, that really get what you're doing is really powerful. And I don't know if you want to speak to that, but I just love it. I love that friendship.
Yeah, I think that Scale Your Box, it is a smaller group, and then in the mastermind it's an even smaller group, and being a member of both just exposes you to people that get it. They get not only just the subscription box aspect of it, but also you might find somebody who's in the same niche as you, and that is really awesome to just like rattle off nerdy stuff about fabric and sewing, and to feel understood in that way is awesome.
Yeah. And these two right here, Whitney and Andrea, I think that they've had almost the same transition that you've had, Natalie, throughout the year. They came into the year, like literally when they started Scale Your Box, they had 100 subscribers, and they have flown past 500 because they implement. They're a lot like Natalie. They learn and they implement. They learn and they implement. Like, I can look at their social media and I'm like, yeah, they listen to me. They're doing what they're supposed to. And it makes me so proud. They're not just, they're not just out here just throwing spaghetti at the wall. They're like, okay, this works. Sarah's done this. She's teaching it. It's working for other people. We're going to do it too. And it works. And their business has changed for it. So yeah, I want you to come join us over in Scale Your Box. We are going to double check all the signups for Scale Your Box against Launch Your Box. We'll make sure you get canceled. If you want to go in and cancel Launch Your Box yourself, absolutely you can do that, but we will get it canceled for you. So don't think you have to do that. If you sign up with the same email as Launch Your Box, everything will still be in the same Kajabi account. So I do recommend you use the same, just log in and sign up. That way, everything in your library will be under one email and you won't have weird things back and forth. But come join us. And you can go back and watch the deep dive into the holiday gift box promotion that I did with them last week, because that's all in the Facebook group. We have a separate Facebook group for Scale Your Box. We have a separate library for Scale Your Box. You will get both Launch Your Box and Scale Your Box, Facebook groups, libraries, and all the great things that are happening over there. And so don't miss this opportunity. You're going to get 2 memberships for the price of 1. And you're really going to be able to dig in and make your business successful. So, Natalie, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And Natalie and I will see all of the new Scale Your Box members over in Scale Your Box today. So, y'all have a great Monday. Keep working towards the goal. Keep working. All right. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.